The world had grown loud, generations had multiplied. Families spread across the land, cities had risen, names were made great, and the earth was full. Humanity had filled the space it was given, yet beneath the noise of life, something had rotted. Violence moved freely through the land. Not hidden, not restrained. It walked openly through homes, through communities, through every generation. Hearts bent steadily toward corruption. What had once been created for harmony now devoured itself without restraint. Humanity no longer listened. Every thought chased power. Every desire fed itself. Compassion faded into weakness. Justice was reshaped to serve the strong. The ground, once given as a gift, was soaked with cruelty, ambition, and pride. Life continued, but meaning was hollowed out, and the silence of heaven grew heavy. Not because God was unaware, but because the moment demanded more than words. Yet in the midst of this broken world, one man walked differently. Noah lived among the same people. He breathed the same air, walked the same roads, and felt the same weight of a fallen world. He was not removed from corruption by distance, but by devotion. While others shaped their lives around ambition, Noah shaped his around trust. He listened when others mocked. He obeyed when others ignored. He did not withdraw from the world. He lived in it. He worked. He raised a family. But his heart remained aligned with something higher. Scripture says he walked with God not ahead, not behind, but in step. He was not perfect, but he was faithful. And he was seen. The warning did not arrive as sudden destruction, but as revelation. The world, as it stood, could not continue. What had been formed for life had turned against it. Judgment was coming, not as impulse, not as rage, but as necessity. Corruption had reached too deep. Violence had become the language of the earth. Yet judgment would not come without mercy. Noah was given instructions unlike anything humanity had ever heard. He was told to build, not a home, not a tower, not a city, a vessel, a structure large enough to carry life itself, something that defied logic, mocked reason, and demanded obedience long before proof would ever appear. An ark. It would rise on dry ground, far from any sea. Its measurements were precise, its purpose singular, its shape unfamiliar. To the eyes of the world, it would make no sense. Day after day, it would stand beneath an empty sky, unanswered by clouds, and still, Noah began. Wood was cut. Beams were raised. Pitch sealed the vessel. Each strike of his hands echoed a warning the world refused to hear. Years passed, decades followed. The ark grew, so did the laughter. So did the disbelief. Rain had never fallen like this before. The skies remained clear. The seasons followed their familiar pattern. To those watching, Noah's work was foolishness, a monument of fear, a man clinging to an invisible promise. But Noah did not stop, because obedience is often built long before rescue arrives. And as the ark neared completion, something else began to stir. Creatures moved with purpose. Pairs arrived from distant places, guided not by instinct alone, but by command. The air shifted. The earth itself seemed to wait. What had been ordinary now carried weight. The sky darkened. The moment the world had dismissed for generations was approaching, and soon there would be no more room to enter. The day arrived without ceremony. The sky did not roar at first. The ground did not tremble. There was only a heaviness in the air, a stillness that pressed against the chest. Then the first drop fell, and another, and another. What had never happened before began to unfold. Rain poured from the heavens, steady and unrelenting. The earth itself responded as waters burst forth from beneath the ground. What had been restrained since creation was now released. Noah entered the ark. His family followed. The animals moved in as they had been guided, filling the vessel with life, sound, and movement. Then the entrance closed, not by human hands. Outside, disbelief turned to fear. The rain did not slow, it intensified. Streams became rivers. Rivers swallowed fields. Familiar landmarks vanished beneath rising water. The laughter faded. The cries rose. The ark lifted. What had once rested on dry land now floated above it. The world that rejected the warning was slowly erased beneath the flood. Homes disappeared. Cities dissolved. The violence that filled the earth was silenced by the waters that covered it. Days turned into nights without horizon. The rain fell without mercy. The waters rose until even the highest ground was hidden. Everything that drew breath outside the ark was gone. Inside, life waited. The ark was not peaceful. It creaked. It swayed. Darkness filled its chambers. Noah and his family lived suspended between judgment and promise. They had no control over the storm, only trust, and the storm did not pass quickly. The waters remained, weeks became months. Time stretched on. Hope was tested not by fear, but by endurance. The world they had known was gone. The world to come was unseen. Then, slowly, the waters began to retreat. The rain ceased. The depths receded. The ark no longer drifted, but rested, grounded on solid earth. Still, they waited. Days passed, then more. Noah sent out a bird. It returned, finding no place to rest. Time passed again. Another was sent. It came back carrying a sign of life. A leaf. The flood had reached its turning point. The waters that judged the world were now giving way to renewal. The earth was preparing to breathe again, and within the ark, one question lingered. What kind of world would await them when the doors finally opened? The door opened to silence. No voices filled the air. No cities stood on the horizon. The world before them was bare, washed clean by the waters that had passed. Mountains emerged where seas had ruled. The earth breathed again, quiet, fragile, new. Noah stepped out first. His feet touched ground that had not known human presence since the flood began. Behind him came his family, then the living creatures, spreading across the land as life returned to its place. What had been preserved was now released. The first act was not conquest, it was gratitude. An offering rose from the cleansed earth, and it was received. Judgment had ended, mercy remained, and a promise followed, spoken not only to Noah, but to every generation yet to come. The world would continue. The waters would never again erase all life. Seasons would endure. Day and night would return to their rhythm, and as a sign of this covenant, a bow appeared in the sky, stretching between heaven and earth. A reminder, not of destruction, but of restraint. Not of fear, but of faithfulness. Humanity was given a new beginning, but not a new nature. The flood cleansed the earth, not the human heart. Violence would return. Failure would follow. Yet so would grace. The Creator chose commitment over abandonment. Noah's story became a mirror for all who followed. Judgment is real. Mercy is greater. Obedience, even when mocked, carries life. The ark stands as proof that salvation often looks foolish until the storm arrives, that faith is built under clear skies, not rising waters, and that a single life aligned with purpose can preserve the future of many. The flood ended, but the invitation remained. If this story moved you, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel to continue exploring these powerful biblical narratives, and leave a comment sharing which biblical story you would like to hear next. The waters receded, and the world began again.